Ford has recently introduced a brand new generation of its best-selling Ranger pickup. This is it. And this actual car, in fact, won its pickup category in the 2024 Caravan and Motorhome Club Towcar of the Year Awards. And in this video, we're going to have a good look around it. We're going to take it for a drive and explain why this vehicle is an award winner. Let's start round to the back, shall we? Because it is a pickup after all. Now, it won't surprise you to learn that Ford has really thought about the practical touches when it comes to the Ranger. And this car is brimming with lots of lovely little thoughtful details, such as there's a step in the rear bumper, as you'd expect, but there is a step on either side of the bumper as well, which means when you're trying to load or climb into the back of this, it's just an awful lot easier. Now, depending on which variant of the Ranger you go for, single cab, double cab, pretty much all of them have got a 1,000 kilogram payload. Ford has really thought about how you can personalize this area. Now, there is an assortment of different accessories, light bars, tent boxes. You can have a manual shutter, or for £1,800, you can have an electric one, which of course makes life an awful lot easier. And it reveals this very practical washable load liner. And there's lots of tie down hooks back there. There's also a couple of sockets. There's a 3-pin socket and a 12-volt socket as well. All in all, this is an extremely practical vehicle. This mid-spec Wildtrak has bucket loads of attitude, with a blunt nose, an enormous grille and chunky wheel arches. It stands out even more when it's painted in this optional £600 cyber orange paint. God, you really do have to climb up into the Ranger, and once you're in it, you have a fantastic view out. You have a very high driving position. There's great visibility all around you. Now, this new generation of Ranger is dramatically different from the previous one. There are a number of reasons for this. Let's start off with up front. Now, the first thing that really strikes you is the quality. Now, you expect a pickup to feel really agricultural, very workmanlike, but that's not the case. Now, admittedly, this is the Wildtrak trim, so it's pretty high up the pecking order, but despite that, even basic levels of the Ranger still feel very well screwed together. In this Wildtrak version, we've got lovely stitched materials, lots of soft touch plastics as well. It feels like an SUV. It doesn't feel like a pickup in here at all. Another big upgrade is the technology. You've got a digital driver's display right in front of me. And then of course, well, you can't miss it, can you? This massive touchscreen. Now it's 10 inches on the basic models, 12 inches on the larger ones. We've got the 12-inch screen here. And it's just full of fantastic features. Now, it's Ford's latest Sync infotainment system. It's really easy to use. The thing I like the most about it, though, is that Ford has actually added proper controls for the vital features, such as your air conditioning, the volume, and what have you. So it's just really nicely laid out. Now, if you want to customize your Ford Ranger, Ford has also thought of that, because up here, there is a row of auxiliary controls. If you want to plug in your spot lamps and any other accessories, those are the switches where you can control all of that. Now, aside from that, there are loads of cubbies in here. It's really practical up front. There is an enormous central cubby here, 2 cup holders. We've got wireless charging pad down there. The door bins are enormous, and there are 2 glove boxes, a lower one and an upper one. Let's take a look in the back. Now, whilst in the front it feels quite SUV-ish, in the back there's no denying this is a pickup, because you sit very upright, and of course you do, because of course there's the flatbed right behind you. Having said that though, this seat base is actually very comfortable. There's a nice rake on it, and it feels a lot more comfortable back here than in the Ranger's rivals. There are a few little creature comforts. There's a couple of USB ports down here, USB-A and USB-C, and very usefully, there's a 3-pin socket back there, down there as well. There's an armrest with a couple of cup holders, so you can try and get as comfortable as you possibly can. And the windows are of a good size, so it doesn't feel too claustrophobic back here. The Ford is available with a choice of engines. There's a 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel with 168 brake horsepower and 202 brake horsepower, and this, a 3-litre V6 diesel. Coming along later will be a petrol plug-in hybrid, which will be the first plug-in pickup available on sale in the UK of its type. Now we've got the 3-litre V6 diesel here, and it is creamy smooth. It is usefully torquey when you're towing, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic gearbox. And again, it is equally smooth. There is a bit of bounce from the back end. I mean, the Ranger has leaf springs at the back, like you find in any pickup. And it's at its best when it's actually towing, or when you've got a pickup full of concrete or whatever you want to carry. Now, when you've got it unladen like we've got now, it does tend to bounce around. But really, I think this is the smoothest riding pickup on sale in the UK. Body roll is well contained, the steering is nice and accurate, and the whole pickup, well, it just feels very grown up and very sophisticated. It's only when you hit a pothole that you're reminded of the fact that this is a pickup. Generally speaking, this has the refinement levels of a large SUV. A couple of other things to mention. Well, you've got your drive mode selector here, and it gives you a variety of different modes. Eco, there's a special towing mode, slippery mode, pretty much any mode you can imagine the Ranger has got. And if you want to switch into 4-wheel drive, that's really easy. There's no separate lever. There's just 4 buttons here: 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive low, and 4-wheel drive automatic. It's as simple as that. If you want your Ranger to deliver the best fuel economy, you're probably better off going for the 2-litre 168 brake horsepower diesel, or in fact the forthcoming plug-in hybrid. But this 3-litre V6 is not too bad. I've been seeing on average around 28 mpg, and that's not too bad when you consider the size of the engine and the weight of the vehicle. Keeping within the 85% rule means nearly all vans will be sensible matches. We hitched up to a 2018 Swift Eccles 590 with an MRO of 1439 kilograms, and the whole outfit was very tractable with only a hint of wobble at 50 miles an hour and minor steering corrections needed. The rear end's bounce, due to the leaf spring suspension, was a little exacerbated during testing, but not excessively so. We've driven many firm riding SUVs that exhibit similar looseness over big bumps. The car feels very tied down when cruising, but by switching to the dedicated towing mode, 4-wheel drive is engaged. As for fuel economy when towing, we saw 21.2 mpg over a varied 50-mile route. Despite their inherent advantages, pickups have long been a compromise when it comes to usability and refinement. The new Ranger is a huge step forward though, delivering a driving experience that's not far off a large SUV. If you need a workhorse pickup that's also comfortable when cruising, look no further than the Ford Ranger.